Talk shoes. Recorded live. Talk shoes. Recorded live.
All right, we're back. Politics and Prepper Saturday night, every Saturday night. Well, at least almost every Saturday night. I have missed one. But anyway, here at TalkShoe.com, Politics and Prepper. I do have a website, bestbugoutbagcontent.com. And hopefully Mike will be in here in the show a little bit, and we'll let him give information on the website that we've got to go with this. He's running that website, so we'll let him give out that information. And yesterday, I thought this was over with, but I guess I thought it kind of got blown out of the water by people. A while back, they sent a letter home. This has been a few years back when my oldest was still in school. And they wanted to know, this is the school district, wanted to know about our family life, asking us what kind of foods we ate, how many meals we had together, you know, how much did the kids watch TV, that kind of thing. Well, I guess that was a precursor to them, the story I'm getting into. And this is not an old story, but I thought it was gone. A friend of mine at work lives in Nixon, Texas. And he was telling me that they had a teacher come over, just a normal teacher, you know, that was going to be the teacher for one of his kids, and come into the house and start asking all kinds of questions. How many meals a day do y'all eat together? You know, do y'all have vegetables? You know, for every meal, meat? Do the kids play outside? Do they watch a lot of TV? So on and so forth. And he let them in. I wouldn't have. I would have done just what I did when they sent me that letter. I wrote on it and said, it's none of your damn business. And I sent it back to him. Well, I guess I heard that other people were a little upset with it too and had done the same thing basically, maybe said it differently. But I guess they were running up the idea on a flagpole to see, you know, if anybody saluted, and it didn't get saluted, and they took it back down. But here they're doing it in Nixon now. Now, I had heard they were doing it in some other schools a while back, but I thought it was pretty much gone, and I find out I'm wrong. Now, can you imagine, this is a teacher from a school district, which is none of the teacher's business, it's none of the school district's business, how many meals a day we eat, how much do kids get to play outside, what kind of meals do we eat. You're leaving things open to the interpretation of an untrained person who, I'm sure for most of them, it's just they're told to do it and they don't really have much choice. But I think they ought to stand up and tell the school districts not no, but hell no in the first place, because teachers are human like everybody else, and they may come into your home and you eat differently than they do, and they get a bad attitude about you, and they slant the whole report. Now, from what I understand, and we didn't go into detail about every aspect that could come out of this, but he said, you know, if they found one of your kids to be overweight or something, they would send look at that kind of stuff, and then send some nutritionists over to your house to help you do it right. Up yours. It's none of your business. We eat the way we want to eat. It's none of your business. As far as I'm concerned, it's none of your business in school what kind of food I send to them. And you know, there was a story not too long ago about them taking food away from kids because it wasn't healthy enough. For them come to find out it was pretty healthy food, a lot healthier, in fact, than what they were being served at school. But it leaves the door open for some major problems. For one, they shouldn't be doing it. It's none of their business. Two, they come into your home with untrained, they're not psychologists, they're not nutritionists, they're not this, they're not that. Because every teacher has, they have to go to, I guess they're having a homeroom type deal. If you're the homeroom teacher, you go to every kid in your class. So that means just basically every teacher in the school is going to be doing this, with maybe a few exceptions. They're not all trained experts in any of this. And even if they are, it's still none of your dang business. So I was a little surprised at that. Luckily, I don't have any kids in school anymore. They're out. So they won't be coming to my home and bothering me about that. Unless they like to take the next step and come to investigate and interrogate the grandparents of kids, which I wouldn't doubt that they'd try that someday, too. What do you think, Al? You got any opinion on that?
I would probably have the same attitude. None of their business. It's just another example of where everything is headed. The nanny state.
Yeah. Well, years ago, I mean, we would let a teacher come in. Teacher calls you up. I'd like to come by your house and talk to you about your child. And it may be good or maybe bad. Maybe your student isn't doing good in one topic and they want to do something extra and they want to talk to you about it, or maybe they're doing exceptionally well and they want to step it up a little bit. And I would let them in for that. But now, if I had kids in school and they came to me knowing what I know now, I would still tell them, you can come by, but we're going to sit on the front porch and talk. And if you ask any stupid questions, you're going to get the answer you deserve, which is nothing. And I'm sure, they'll play that game too. They'll use the farce of, wanting to talk to you about your kid and then try to start asking stupid questions. And I wouldn't let them do that. I would treat them just like I did when they did the, I just went blank. The 10-year thing, they come to your home and they'll send you things and ask how many people live in the house. And
the census.
Census. Oh, there he is. How did you get in?
Yeah, I snuck in.
You snuck in. You're a sneaky guy, you. You got to watch those people from up north. Anyway, he lives near Washington, D.C. We got to
learn from the government.
Yeah, we got to keep an eye on him. Anyway, so the census sent me the long form this past time, and I put down what I felt was reasonable and what lawfully I was supposed to answer, and the rest I put none of your business. Well, I don't remember. It wasn't too long after that. Lady comes knocking on the door. Says, I'm from the census. I need to get some questions. And I said, I already sent it in. She goes, yeah, but you didn't fill it all out. And I said, yeah, I'm not going to fill it out with you either. She said, well, will you at least just talk to me so I can say I was here and I did my job? And I said, sure, but we're going to stand outside here. And we sat down out front of the porch. And she started asking me all these questions. And I said, I just told you you're not getting any more answers than what I already gave you. I said, well, I have to at least ask him, And we went through the stuff, and she asked the questions, and I'm getting, kind of getting a little upset. But the lady was a nice lady. She just seemed to be trying to do her job. She wasn't trying to be, a jerk about it or anything. And then she gets to the end of it, can you sign this? I'm not signing anything. I already did mine. I did everything I had to do, and that's it. Well, this just to show that I was here. No, I'm not signing it. If they don't believe you, they don't believe you. I don't really care. I know you're just trying to do your job, but I've done mine. And she left and she was fine about it. She wasn't upset or anything about it. But it is none of their damn business. It doesn't matter how many guns I got in my home. It doesn't matter if I drink alcohol. It doesn't, and I don't hardly ever anymore, but even when I did, it's still none of your business. I don't care.
How's that census and them sending people out, how's that helping us?
It's not. They're just getting information. It's none of their business to manipulate their law. If they get enough people with a certain situation going on, they'll freaking make a law out about it.
It's a waste of money, like everything else they do.
Yeah, they asked, questions about their family, like what color they were, and I said, or what's their heritage, and I said American. I didn't answer their stuff like black or white, or German, or Hispanic, or African descent, or anything. I just said, just a bunch of Americans here. They always talk about that we got to get rid of this color thing. You know, we got to they enforce it and make it happen, especially with Obama. His group have made it even worse. They use it like shooting bullets at us to try to make us duck.
Should have said Texans.
Well, right now I'm an American first, Texan second, but if it comes down to it, I'll be a Texan first. Go ahead, Al.
Well, you notice speaking of asking you racist stuff, I mean, you notice the changes they made on the, when you go to buy a gun, you can't say that you're, you say you're white, but you also have to say you're non-Hispanic.
Yeah, well, Hispanic is a white part of the white race.
Well, no, but I mean, that's a change they made in that form within the last year, is what I'm saying.
Oh, well, I wouldn't have noticed the difference because every gun I've bought, except for the last two in just the last few months, have not been on the record. Right. So yeah. I don't know didn't know there was a change. Yeah, they did. They changed the way they designate the races. And not only on that, but I saw it on other forms as well. So it's across the board, it appears, that they've done it like that.
What happens if you fill it out incorrectly? Like on purpose, I wonder.
It won't pass.
No. You mean if you're trying to get a gun?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you'd want to do it incorrectly, but just...
And every time you do it, you have to it better be the same exact thing as the last time.
Oh, really?
Unless there's an address change or something like that.
So it sends up a flag?
Yeah. And it's not really that much information. As far as I'm concerned, I shouldn't have to do it, and I normally don't. But when it comes right down to it, this gives them two guns to come get, and I can say take them, and maybe they'll be happy and leave me alone while I get my other ones, out and let them be there.
I don't even think they're not getting none of mine.
Well, it depends. If they come around my house, I got a bunch of family here, and they got us surrounded, and I think they're going to kill everybody in the house. I'll give them those two guns. There you go. That's what's on record. That's all I got.
Mm-hmm.
Or I might say, because if you say you sold them, they're not going to believe it. They're going to come search anyway. And no matter what you do, they're going to search your house.
Oh, yeah. That's why I just don't let them be there.
Yeah, if I had my whole family here, I don't know if I'd get back and take a chance on having my family killed, because I don't think they would hesitate a minute to do it. But
yeah, just put you in a FEMA camp.
Then probably put guns in everybody's hands and say they were all shooting back or something.
Yeah.
But individually, they're not getting my guns. But there's certain situations I might let them have the ones that they can prove I have. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time getting to them anyway, and I might forget where they're at. In fact, I think I got rid of them all just the other day. All right, there is a topic I want to get in tonight, and I want to start talking about the TSA again, and the airport testing and all that kind of stuff. But before we get there, Mike, give out the information on the website.
It's livefreenews.com. And show notes is episode 20, right?
Yeah, and we have selected using it enough and putting enough information up there, but it's just a start. We put it up just so we have a place to start things out. Hopefully we'll get to do more of them later. And I'm as guilty as anybody else not doing enough. But none of us here are writers. None of us here are journalists. We're just trying to do our thing to combat what's going on. I'm going to go to Al. Al, we were talking about just before we started. You want to carry on with that?
Oh, sure. I haven't really done enough research yet. I just started looking into this today, but we talked about prepping with storing food and stuff, and I started looking into dehydrating the food, and I was looking at some videos today on it, where a lady was showing she was taking like frozen food, like frozen peas or whatever, and just without even thawing them, just taking them frozen and putting them on the dehydrator tray and dehydrating them and shrink down to a fraction the size they originally are. It shrinks them down real small, and then store them, and they'll keep for 30 plus years. And when you rehydrate them back, and they're back to exactly the way they were, before you dehydrate them. And from what I'm looking at, that's the way to go on non-staples like dry beans and stuff like that. But I mean, you can dehydrate fruit, all the fruits, all the vegetables.
You can use it to jerky meat, dry it out, and jerky it.
Yep.
That one had bypassed me. I mean, we used to do it. My dad used to do it, and I'd never messed with it. But my dad used to do it. I got a buddy that used to do it, and it went right past me till you brought it up, and I go,
well,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, on YouTube, do a search on dehydrate and the number 2 store. That's all together. Dehydrate to store with the number 2 for 2. And it's a woman, and she goes through the process of doing all the different. Dehydrating everything, and that's what she's doing it for. Is for long-term storage. And you take the dehydrated food and get some some Mylar bags, small Mylar bags, and what I'm doing is there's a mechanics. They have it at Harbor Tool. It's a mechanic vacuum. It's a hand vacuum, and it's got a pretty small plastic hose that comes out of it, and you can put your whatever you're wanting to store, you put it in your Mylar bag, and you seal it with that hose in the corner down into the product, and you seal it up to that hose, and then you can pump all the air out. Of course, you want to go ahead and put an oxygen absorber in there as well.
Right.
But then you seal it down, and then pull that hose out almost to the end, and then pump it some more, and then seal it across the bottom, where the hose was. And I mean, you got a perfectly vacuumed bag, and even with a small oxygen absorber in there, just in case there's a fraction of air in there. But I mean, that's the way to go.
Well, you're going to save on weight. You can store it in your house and use it, or you can put it in a bag and use it. You throw it in a box and throw it in your car, and when you're bugging out or something.
Well, yeah, by dehydrating it, man. I mean, that it's a third the size. I mean, it's amazing. Corn or like little baby carrots.
Yeah.
They were just like hardly anything in size. I mean, it's amazing how small it gets, And then when you rehydrate it back, it comes right back to what the original size and everything was. But yeah, it's amazing how much space, how much less space it takes to store it when you got it dehydrated like that.
Oh yeah, well, that, and like I said, the weight for packing it out if you wanted to, While I'm thinking about it, Jim's not going to be here with us tonight. He is out at the evacuation area, our bug out location, getting things. He wanted to go out there and check up on things and make sure everything was good and do some extra stuff out there. He said, just in case something does happen in September, October, he wants to make sure things are ready. So he's not here tonight. Yeah, I think he's planning on being out there because, he's retired anyway. So I think he's planning on going out there and being there ahead of time just in case something does happen. So if he wants to spend a few weeks out there or a month, he can do it. So anyway, maybe he'll be back next week. I do like the hydration thing, and I don't know why I let it get past me, but I should have talked about that a long time ago, and I think I'll have to do some articles and put up some videos on that. Mike, let's go over to the was it magnesium, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about magnesium, and I told y'all we were going to gradually start putting in some stuff about some of the health issues because it is important to be healthy ahead of what might happen and during what might happen. So go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of research on some things. I always try to find things that are like easy to do but high impact as far as health goes. And what I found was magnesium an epidemic as far as how badly the general public is deficient in this mineral. And I want to give you a quick idea of why it's so important and why we're so deficient. But basically, there's 2 or 3, 4 different minerals that really work together. And you may have heard about some of these things, but magnesium, calcium, sodium, and potassium. So they kind of all interact, but calcium and magnesium are 2 minerals that are really important. We need both of them, but the balance in the body is critical to health. And so I'll just give you an idea of why this is so important. Calcium in your body, calcium in your diet, historically, before probably the advent of our diet in the last 100 years, has always been it's a mineral that's a little bit harder to come by in a natural food, real food diet. So your body wants to keep all the calcium it can get, right? So it wants to hold on to all the calcium it can get because it's a large part of our body uses calcium. It's a little bit harder to come by. So magnesium, on the other hand, historically has been very abundant in the water and the earth and the foods, coming from the soil. So it tends to use magnesium but not hold it, and flushes a lot of it out to the kidneys. And it's pretty readily released from the body. So what the problem is, though, one other thing is if you get too much calcium, magnesium is needed to get it out of the system. So what's happened in the last 100 years, especially the last 40 or 50 years, a couple of different things. First of all, the soil has been depleted from all the key minerals it used to have. And we talked about some of the things related to that. And then the water has been stripped of minerals, one of them being magnesium, being a critical one. Salt is is a really, really good source. Real sea salt is a really good source of magnesium, but the salt we eat in the table isn't real salt. It's just sodium, and it's not very good for you. But real sea salt is good for you.
Yeah, I've been kind of looking into that too. Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyhow, so what's happened, and then you compound this. If you look over the last 100 years, the intake 100 years ago, the average intake of magnesium in the diet would be about 600 milligrams a day, based on like a real food diet. And then you can see like decade to decade, it steadily goes straight down. And we're now down to more like 200 milligrams, even less than what you eat. And it's for all these reasons that we talked about. Plus, a lot of the modern day pharmaceuticals, including like heart medicine or blood pressure medicine, diuretics, they strip your body of magnesium. Stress strips your body of magnesium. So all these modern life things are just stripping us of our magnesium, and we're already not eating enough. So to make the problem worse, calcium is being promoted by the government and everyone else. You got to eat more calcium. And they fortify foods with calcium. And what happens is your body's taking in more of this calcium, but it can't get rid of it because we don't have enough magnesium to carry out then use calcium. So we start to get calcification.
So what to do? Combine with calcium to do whatever job it's supposed to do? If you don't have enough magnesium, it doesn't work properly?
The magnesium is used in your blood to carry out the unwanted calcium. So if you don't have that, if you don't have enough magnesium, and you have more than enough calcium, your body's not going to have any way to get rid of it. And it's just going to store it places it shouldn't store it. And that's why you get calcification in your joints, causing joint problems. You get calcification in your blood or in your arteries. It's hardening of the arteries, calcification in the brain. And there's all these different kidney stones. All those things are a result of calcium.
I was going to say kidney stones because I just went through that.
All these things.
Ouch.
Yeah, all these different things and are kind of increasing issues it's a big part of the problem. So what can we do? We can eat more calcium, or get not have to eat it, but we can get more calcium into our system. And there's a couple of different ways to do that. I don't really need to probably expand too much on the whole physiology of it. I can just tell you what you need to do, I think.
I think they can look into it more if they.
I'm gonna put a link to my article on my website up on the show notes.
All right.
at the article and get you some links. That explains it a little bit more in detail. But basically, you want to get about 500 to 600 milligrams a day for an average sized person. I guess if you're probably more than 180, 200 pounds, you may want to get a little bit more. And it's the testing for calcium, the testing for magnesium is a little tricky because you can go to your doctor and they can test you with a blood test, but the problem is your body always kind of keeps the magnesium level in your blood the same. And if you take more of it in, it just flushes it out through the kidneys. So it's kind of a hard thing to test for. There's some hair samples and there's some different tests that work a little better than others, but I think if you just want to focus on making sure you're getting enough of it, you're going to be better off than worry about testing for it. And it's pretty hard to you really can't overdose on it. So I won't worry about if you're off by a few hundred milligrams or something like that. I've read people taking a lot more than these doses and no problems. So, but there's a couple of different.
Go ahead.
Say. No, just real quick. I want to make people aware of a couple of things. There's a couple. You can take oral supplements, but it's hard to find supplements that are easily absorbed into the system. Most of the ones on your pharmacy shelf, off it, the counter stuff it's magnesium oxide, which is not. It's probably the worst version because it's very hard. A very small percentage of it will actually get into your system. Most of it will just go right through and out the other end. So what you want to do is either find a really high quality version of a supplement, have a magnesium sulfate or a citrate or a taurate, or even a magnesium chloride is a good version too. But there's other ways to get it. First of all, your diet. You can eat some foods that are rich in magnesium, like nuts and seeds and cocoa.
I like cocoa.
Yeah, whole wheat is a good way to get magnesium, but I don't suggest eating a lot of wheat, so I would have to kind of suggest people don't do that. But intravenously you can get it, which is a little bit harder route for most people. But one of the best ways to do it is foot soaks. And I bet you a lot of people listening, the parents or grandparents used to do.
Would you repeat what that was?
A foot soak, like
foot soak.
Yes.
Okay.
Foot soak. You soak your feet in water, in Epsom salts.
Mm-hmm.
So Epsom salts, my grandparents used to do that all the time, and I think I've heard of people saying when they were a kid, that parents or grandparents used to make them do it or put it in their bath, right? So you can do this in your bath or just as a foot soak. Because
I'll interject here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
A while back, I was at my chiropractor's, and I know some of y'all don't believe in chiropractors, but I happen to know they do. They're there, and they do for certain people. They do a good job for them. That's not a fix-all, but I use them for certain things. And I was having some gout issues, and we started talking about that too. And magnesium, here's some cream you can get, or you can use Epsom salt and soak in that. And, he was telling me then that some of the problems that is fairly common that is magnesium. Magnesium covers a lot of different things.
It's really comprehensive as far as the way it interacts with a lot of different minerals in your body.
Well, he was even talking about bee stings and things like that. Insect stings, use the cream on that, all kinds of things. He was saying it really plays a big part in your whole body and the way it functions in the heal and how things work together. But anyway, go on.
Yeah, I mean, calcium is the bones, what magnesium is the muscles, I would say. So, like, the importance of calcium in bone development, the magnesium plays a big role in muscle function and health and all that. So that's a reason why, I guess it's a reason why it's known to be helpful with blood pressure and things like that. So,
yeah.
Of course, if it helps reduce calcification in the arteries, that's a big plus too. So you can do the gels too. Yeah, there's some real good gels, oils, like magnesium chloride oil. They're real good because your skin is really efficient at absorbing stuff. And actually, you guys may have heard some old sayings like when you're sick, you go to the sea.
Right. Well, I used to, when I was a kid, I liked to go fishing anyway. And I noticed that, when I was in my teens, blackheads, pimples and stuff, and I'd go to the coast and they'd be cleared up. I'd spend a couple of days down there fishing. And a lot of time it was in the water because I'd surf fish a lot and just goof off in the water, run with the guys and chase women and all that kind of stuff. But we'd spend a lot of time. I'd come back and I could see the difference.
Yeah, I mean, that seawater with the salt is a really high, really good source of magnesium. And it can be absorbed that way. So, people don't really think about it that way. I never knew about it until I started reading about it.
Are you going to have this information up on your website? Not.
Yeah, I have it on my billiardsbiohacker.com website, but I'm going to put a link on the show notes to the article. And then I have a couple of videos of a guy. His name, I give him a little bit of credit because his name's Morley Robbins, and he has a site. I have linked to it on there. But he's not out selling anything. He's just really passionate about this problem, magnesium deficiency. So,
well, I have to agree. I mean, I've been hearing more and more about a lot of the different things, and I'm going to make a request from you, but fit it into your schedule, or because I know vitamin C is going to be one of the things you either have or will be looking into.
Yeah, I can do that.
And I have been hearing a lot about the vitamin C and taking it at much higher rates than the government is suggesting. And the benefits, and give us a rundown on it like you just did on the magnesium. I think that would be great. But at your discretion, when you get time to go into that would be great.
Yeah, I know the guy I follow is kind of a biohacker. He takes mega doses of vitamin C, especially when he feels like he's going to get sick or getting sick or is around like his kid gets sick or something.
Well, I'm hearing stuff like it's even more important to, like, I work outside. All right, so. We've all been raised to, use sunscreen, and I'm not saying don't use sunscreen. I'm not saying do use sunscreen. Some saying sunscreen is really pretty bad for you, but I don't think I'm going to sit here and tell people they need to give up sunscreen because I don't think it's my place to. Right. But they were saying vitamin C will outdo any sunscreen made, taking it to proper levels to protect you from the sun, and many other things. There are so many things that vitamin C does that I didn't realize till just recently.
Vitamin D at the right dosages is very helpful at protecting your skin too.
Yeah, and a lot of these things should just work together. When you got the right balance of all of them going together, they just can do wonders for you.
Yeah, I think that's where we need to get back to, just basic physiology, what we're missing. And you talk about all the GMO foods and everything.
Yeah.
Not only bad in some ways, it's depleting their soil, it's depleting our bodies of things we need. So.
Yeah, that's a big problem is none of the food has the nutrition in it that it's supposed to.
Right. Including the water. I mean, the water used to be.
Y'all keep this conversation going for a minute. I have to get something to drink. I'm dying here.
Speaking of water, drink.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you've heard of the Health Ranger, right?
The Health Ranger?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
He's got. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's got a radio show. You can get his podcast. Just Google Health Ranger and you'll find him.
Yeah.
But he's. I mean, that's what he's all about. I mean, I think he said 12 years ago he was way overweight. He was having had high blood pressure, diabetes, all kinds of problems, and he just kept researching it, and what he realized was that none of the food has they keep growing the same crop year after year after year after year, and the only thing that makes it grow is just chemicals, and it's depleted the soil, and so your body is craving minerals that you're not getting them, and so your body is craving those minerals, so it keeps telling you that you need to eat because it's needing those minerals, and you're just getting empty calories, and so you just start putting on weight, and then the longer you go without getting the proper minerals, then the more health problems you start having, with blood pressure, et cetera, et cetera.
And it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, and then when you go to the doctor, you know, and they give you blood pressure medicine or whatever.
And high cholesterol medicine, and
all they're doing, they're not curing it. All they're doing is masking the problem.
No, actually, and they're making it worse because they get the blood pressure medicine is a diuretic, and it does a lot of things, including stripping the body of more magnesium.
Exactly.
And then you, it's like that's why every so many years you got to up it. It's making the problem worse.
You know, you're talking about diuretic, and I have been hearing more and more about just that fact, about so many of the things that we're taking and eating are diuretics, medicine. And that just supplementing your give up a couple of Cokes a day or a couple of cups of coffee a day and just drink water. How much more that will affect you?
Well, that's what the health ranger, you know, what he did. He determined, you know, what he found is there's like, I think it was about 92 minerals that your body has to have. And anyway, he started, you know, focusing on making sure he was getting all those right minerals and everything. And he started naturally losing weight without even dieting. He was just naturally losing weight.
And that's basically what I've been doing.
Huh?
That's basically what I've been doing to lose weight. I haven't really been trying to diet. I just changed to meaningful food.
And before he knew it, I mean, he was no longer having blood pressure issues. His diabetes, he didn't have that. I mean, the guys, I saw videos with him. I mean, he looks like you know, as healthy as he can be. I mean, and considering what I think he said he lost 180 pounds or something like that. You know, and man, it's amazing. And what he contributes it all to is just getting the proper minerals, which is what you're talking about with magnesium. I think, you know, that's part of it. I'm seriously looking at that as well. And one of the things I've looked at is a product from I think the company is Youngevity. It's called Tangy
Tangerine. That's what I've been looking into.
Yeah. And
there's other ones to go with it, but that's a big one.
That's a big one. It has all the minerals and stuff. Some of that stuff can get a little pricey, though.
You got to be careful, though, because your body, the balance of these things is important. Right. You can't just start supplementing like crazy. And that's why the guys I follow, they really testing. You know, get some blood tests and see where you're at with vitamin D or magnesium or whatever it is. And then, you know, because you the balance, especially of calcium, magnesium, and sodium, and these things is really, really important. And it's not like you get overdose necessarily, but you'd be less healthy one's out of whack. So,
right.
So, you know, that's why I don't eat a lot of supplements. I just try to eat better food. There's certain ones, certain minerals and vitamins that we just can't get as readily as we used to be able to because of the food and everything.
Longevity was one I've been looking into because I've been looking for something that I can find that would make it a little easier for people to get a hold of and use it knowing its quality. But one of the things that's been holding me back is I think for most people that will hear this podcast, you know, we do have to be careful about our money, and these things do get some of this stuff does get a little pricey, even though I can't afford it. And I think once I looked into it, I'm really thinking about trying it here, is try the Tangy Tangerine, and there's another one that I was looking at, and I think it's a month's supply, and it was around $100, give or take. I don't remember exactly. But if you say for what we would, you start getting the minerals you need and you start eating as much, you may save enough money in the long run by not drinking so much.
About all that's money you save on health products.
Yeah, on health products. In the long run, I think you probably see it. Maybe you can get off some of those drugs because you do need to be tested. You know, if you started getting healthier, you could go back and say, well, you know, maybe I don't need the high blood pressure medicine, or maybe I don't need this or whatever, this or that.
Yeah, and you want to be careful too that you don't eat a crappy diet and then try to take a pill.
Right, exactly.
Spend a lot of money on to try to compensate because I remember this guy talking about how many molecules of magnesium it took to remove like a molecule of sugar. out of your blood. And basically, you're sucking up a lot of magnesium just by eating a high sugar diet.
That's where I kind of have a hard time with some. I know that some of these fads that come and go with different products, they sit there and say, use our product, and then you also talked about, you need to get some exercise and change your diet. Well, who in the heck knows which one is doing what? So how do you really test yourself? Okay, I started taking this diet, but I also quit drinking as much sugar. I also quit eating whatever. I started going out for walks every once in a while. So you start feeling better, and you think it's the drugs, the supplements you're taking. So I have a hard time trying to justify that. But I think
I don't really believe there's a pill or something like that you can take.
No, but a lot of people do. But we're not talking about going and taking a pill. I think just the topic, at least the aspect that if you think that it's logical to assume that our minerals, trace elements are important, our vitamins are important to our diet, and you can tell by the diet you're eating, you're not getting all the stuff you should get. And then you go try a product that somebody says worked for them, and it fits in, and it works for you, I think that's good. You go ahead and keep doing it. And then you'll, as you start feeling better, I think you'll start actually paying more attention to your health anyway, and just automatically start getting better because you'll feel like doing more, and it's just, it's a good cycle. It all works together. But just going out and seeing somebody on TV saying, hey, take my stuff, it'll fix you, that ain't going to work. You need to think it through, and you need to go look up the stuff and make up your mind what you think fits in there. But you can't just guess at it. You got to go look and find out and get that information yourself.
That's why I try to bring some of these things up so people can start thinking about.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was good. We're not saying that we're experts on any of this stuff. We're saying it makes sense to us. We're looking at different people and getting the information, and it makes sense, so let's look into it and maybe try this and then try that and see what works out for, however it works out. And that's why I like this topic, because I think it's important. It's something, you see these commercials too all the time now about testosterone and all these supplements they're selling and their outrageous prices on there. I think you can get your supplements in a good way, a healthy way, and just that will help your hormones. Because when things start getting out of whack, your hormones aren't going to do anywhere near what they should be. Plus, you're getting a little older, so it's normally going to drop. But I bet I would see, if I started getting the right supplements and over time doing some of the stuff we're talking about, I bet I would see a difference in just that in itself.
Yeah, I found like over 200 articles on how magnesium can help with depression and just things around that type of that health condition. So, this is crazy.
All right, well, let's go ahead and finish up, and then
so anyhow, I'll put some links up on the show notes. That'll be at livefreenews.com/21. Actually, it's episode 21. So.
Yeah, and I want to spend time on these topics over the course of however many shows it takes. And it sounds like all three of us are interested, so maybe all three of us can pitch in a little bit and find some stuff that we think is worthy of discussing.
Hey, Al, what was the name of that guy that podcast you?
It's the podcast is Health Ranger, Mike Adams. Wait, hang on, I'll tell you real quick.
Yeah, I listened to like 12 different podcasts with guys similar to him, but I haven't heard of him, so I wanted to check it out.
Well, he's the one I talked to you about a while back that I was listening to, but he'll get you the. And there's more than one person promoting this product.
Most of the guys I listen to are promoting like paleo diets, but real food. Eating real foods.
But one of the ones I was listening to a while back was used to be on Mutual of Omaha years ago, and he was the guy that was like the vet. And he then, as he researched minerals and vitamin supplements and all for animals, he was like over the head of all the the zoos or the main zoos in the United States, and over time they found that they were finding a lot of, if not most of the problems were solved by just the minerals and vitamins and supplements. And
yeah, that guy, he's a doctor. He claims that minerals are a cure for everything.
If not everything, almost.
It's a big part of it, and they don't, the government and the doctors, they don't really want you to know that. Because the pharmaceutical companies can't patent magnesium.
Well, he was even saying, years ago, your pets were only living, if you had a 10-year-old dog, you were lucky, and you can expand on that with cats and stuff too. But he was saying now they've gone to the point where, your dog may last 14, 16, 18 years. And so that's all due to the supplements they're putting in the dog foods. They said the pets are eating much better balanced meals than we are, much healthier meals. Of course, a lot of people overfeed their dogs and cats and they get fat, but that's because they're feeding them too dang much. Take care of their animals better than they take care of their kids a lot of times. There's stuff they let their animals get away with that never even think about letting their kids get away with.
So you're saying my kids would be better off eating dog food?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not.
I'm not trying that.
I think it's processed a little bit differently, so I don't think it would be the first thing I would go to. I think the line of thinking that you're talking about is probably a better direction to go than switching over to dog food or cat food.
That's a whole other subject, giving your kids to get healthy.
But you can use dog food, cat food for, prepper stuff, but I'm not going there. Yeah. I'm not even going to test it to see if it tastes good or bad. All right, so let's get off that. Now, back to politics. There was some more news. TSA was at the airport putting those swabs in your drink that you bought right there at the airport after you've been through security. And they're saying, they're testing for explosives. They really think we're that stupid, don't they? And they got people that sit there, oh, yeah, here, And they go on. For one thing, how many times did you use those gloves that you just used to pick up that swab? Another thing is, who in the hell how do I know you didn't put something on that damn swab before you put it in there that the government wants you to put into my food? Maybe you're a terrorist.
Well, you know what the answer to this is, don't you?
You tell us.
Everybody boycott. Just don't buy anything in those, buy any drinks. I mean, don't buy any coffee at Starbucks there. And they had to put the pressure on them from the event, from those stores, and they'll stop it,
Yeah, but, I just don't think there's enough of us there to make a difference. Most people don't want to create a stink. They just want to get on the airplane and go, and they're afraid they're not going to be able to make it because the TSA won't let them fly. And
yeah, that's the only reason the TSA's there. I mean, that's the hold they have on you is you got to fly.
Yeah, and that's why they used that one, because they know you just spent a lot of money to get this going. You made a lot of plans to go wherever you are, whether it be business or pleasure, and you don't want them to stop you from going. You want to go do your thing, and you're not willing to give up that, but you're willing to give up your freedoms and be intruded on in your privacy. But they're not just, people remember, they're not just at the airports anymore. Bus stations, train stations. The San Antonio has a place they call the Riverwalk. They were down there searching people. I'm sure there's plenty of other cities that find them on the streets.
Does anybody protest it?
Yeah, they had some protesting going on here. I haven't seen them. I haven't heard of them coming back.
No, what I'm saying is when the TSA was at the Riverwalk, does anybody refuse to let them search them?
I don't know. It wasn't reported on widely enough for me to know.
But they don't have arresting authority.
No, they're not even police officers.
No, they're not. They're not.
They don't have any officers like that. But we let them get away with it.
They'll never. I would never allow them to search me on the street. I would never allow. I mean, if they try to stop my vehicle, and once I realize it's TSA, I'm gonna just wave at them and keep right on going. There's no way I'm gonna stop for those guys.
Yeah.
And I'm certainly not going to let them search me, and I'm certainly not going to let them. I'm not going to give them any identification. I'm just basically going to ignore them. They have no business on the street.
Yeah,
That's craziness, man.
There's a new video where I think it was through Alex Jones, so that some of his acquaintances or people he knows or people that work with him, whatever it is, went to some airport and was pretty much giving the TSA a hard time because they were going to do videos and stuff.
Yeah, that was his reporters.
Yeah. I haven't seen the video yet, but I heard part of the recording of it. But we need more of that. And I really hate the TSA. And I know they're not going to like me saying that, but I hate them.
Yeah.
Not enough to go hurt them, so don't misunderstand me while y'all are listening to this TSA. I'm not going to be violent against you, but I don't like you, and I don't want you bothering me, and it's none of your damn business. And as far as I'm concerned, you don't have any legal right to be doing what you're doing. I mean, they're arresting people and doing shit that they got no right to do. On the streets, at the bus stations, the Riverwalk, and you're bothering people that are none of your damn business. I think that's going to be a bigger part of this show. So if y'all hear anything about TSA, anytime y'all hear a new story about them, either let me know or either y'all do it, we'll talk about it when we get on the show, or let me know a little bit ahead of time. Send me an email with a link to an article or a video or something, anytime something new comes on or anything, even if it's a little old, but it was like outrageous and maybe you don't think it got reported on enough or something. We'll stick it out there.
Are they government contractors? Are they employees? You guys know?
I don't know exactly what the legal way that they fit in, but Al might.
What's that?
TSA.
The TSA, I mean...
It's a government agency.
Yeah, okay.
It's just like Homeland Security. It was, like Homeland Security, but it's a whole separate agency. My sister-in-law works for them, and her old husband, I think, is sick of her. Well, and he just I'm telling you, he's going to really be sick of her because he just went back out on the road, and they are messing with truck drivers at way stations and stuff now, and a couple of those stops, and he'll be sick of her.
Well, do you talk to him much?
He just went on the road. I mean, he just started back on the road, so I will.
Maybe you might ask him to whenever he sees something, and
he will.
He let you know about it.
He will. He's
maybe give him a camera.
He's somewhat awake, somewhat.
Yeah.
He definitely knows there's something seriously wrong.
Well, I'm glad you're not on the road anymore, but I wish you were sometimes because we got to spend a lot more time talking about shit.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I'm off the road.
Yeah, I know exactly. I know it was starting to bother you because you were so worried about not being, being halfway across the country and not being able to get back to your family if something happened.
Oh, those guys are, they'll be history. There's no way they'd make it anywhere.
Yeah, some of them are trying to prep, but man, you can only do so much. Of course.
Well, I mean, for instance, the company I work with, we weren't allowed to carry a firearm with us, even though you can if if the company will allow it.
Just got to know where to hide it, right?
Huh?
You just got to know where to hide it.
Well, yeah, you got. I mean, I would seriously be doing that. I would have that.
You have to be very quiet about it, though, because just one person that the truck driver said the wrong thing, maybe you let one guy know, and then he's got it over your head, or just accidentally let it slip,
Yes. I got one more thing on, not to change the subject too much, but
go ahead.
On food prepping. One of the things I'm doing, there's a company called Linden Farms. Have you heard of them?
No, I have. I've probably run across them, but I don't remember the name.
Well, they sell, these food packs. They're in like a square plastic, containers, and they have like one. We'll give you an example of one of the programs they have. They have a monthly. You get 60 meals for $59.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a deal you get in, on this where you do it monthly for $59 a month. It's free shipping on it, and they send you 60 meals, and each one of these plastic these are storable containers, is what they are.
Do me a favor before I forget. Send me a link to that. That sounds interesting.
Oh, well, yeah, because I'm doing this. I'm doing that month in addition to other stuff because it's all freeze dried. It's it'll last 30 years. And I mean, to give me an example of what they have, I mean, the stuff has, like they have the breakfast has eggs, oatmeal with citrus drink. Each meal has 2,000 calories in it, which is
that's good. That's good because
and it's
one meal could be going all day.
Huh?
One meal could keep you with enough calories for the whole day if you had to.
Well, yeah, and plus this is all been put together by nutritionists, to make sure you're getting the proper, calories and protein and fat. But what they do is they've got on that monthly deal, they have 7 different series packs. I guess they rotate it, and it's different. Each series is different foods,
Right.
And but anyway, I haven't got my first one yet, but I just got into it. But it's $59 a month with free shipping on it, and then it's an auto ship, but they just send you one a month, and you can buy them individually if you wanted to, but they got other deals where you can buy 360 meals for different prices. Let's see, that's a 90 serving bucket is $117. 360 serving bucket is $432. Then they have just dry, you can buy separate, dry, freeze-dried fruits or vegetables, whatever.
Right.
So anyway, they got some pretty cool products out there. So
you haven't got to taste any of them yet?
That's what no, I mean, I've been looking at reviews, and they're saying the food it's excellent. It's freeze dried, and they're saying it's great tasting, gourmet type. They're calling it gourmet meals.
You gonna try a few and give us a review on it?
Yeah, I'll try some of it.
All right. And okay, before I forget, send me a link to that. Did you get the name of the doctor you were talking about that Mike was asking you about?
Well, Mike Adams.
Mike Adams, okay.
Yeah, I made a note. I got the link for that Linden Farms too.
It's just LINDON
Yeah.
All right, now, before the end of the show, and I know the folks listening to the podcast aren't going to see this, but last week I forgot to turn my camera on, so this week will be the first video I've done of the show, and I don't know how soon I'm going to do it because I'm still working on the series of videos for the Kel-Tec Sub 2000. But for that video that I actually did turn on this week, and it is recording, or was. No, it still is. I got a Kel-Tec Sub 2000 that's almost done. I'm going to back away a little bit and try to get the whole thing in the screen. And for those of y'all that know what a Kel-Tec looks like, this one doesn't look like a Kel-Tec anymore. It's got a scope. It's got different sights. It's got a indexing rail that adjusts by 90 degrees so you can turn it out of the way and still fold the gun. It's got a laser on it now. It's got a folding foregrip. I'm going to put a different scope on it and try that out and see if I like it better than this one. And if I like this one, I think this one I've got is going to end up on my 1022, which I'm not going to show y'all right now. But anyway, this is where it's going, and there may be a tactical light added to it, but this will give y'all a preview of what that series of videos is going to be about. I'll turn it around. This laser also has, you can unscrew the back and put another attachment that's got a wire running down to a switch that you can put inside the side of the grip here. And so when you grab the grip, you can turn the light on, the laser on or off, whichever you want to do. So if you want to find that series of videos, which I'm not completely finished with, but I am working on it, go to YouTube and look up Bug Out Bag Content. They're also, if we haven't already, put a link to it.
I'll put the video, I'll embed it on the show notes.
Okay, and we might have already got one or two of them up there. But they're also, I'm adding them to my best bug out bag content. There'll be a page with all those videos up there. There's a couple of them up there now. I'm also adding a 4-end stock extension, and then a 4-end butt stock extension to it, which with this new site has to be modified for it to still be able to close, but it's an easy modification. I just haven't done it yet. I've also added a cheek pad that goes over it because it's a metal, otherwise you're touching metal. Plus I'm left-handed. There's a right-handed gun. I shoot left-handed rifle and a right-handed pistol. Figure that one out, guys. And anyway, it gives me a little bit more clearance for my cheek. And the bolt, when the bolt comes back, which seems to all be working out pretty well. So anyway, stop by, check that out. Let me know what you think. Hopefully that new scope, it sits a little bit lower than this one, so hopefully it will line up the way I want it to. Also going to show y'all some pictures of, a little bit of video here, and on the clips. I got some clips for it too. This one here, 10-round Glock clip, 9mm. That comes with the gun. I bought a 15-round to go with it. I think the 15 rounds are probably better. Even the 10s are probably better in most tactical situations than the bigger ones. The bigger ones are cool. They make the gun look great, intimidating. I don't think they're the best tactical use weapon. Clip. If you have a problem with one of these and you drop it out, you lose a lot of ammo. One of the other ones, and you can use up a lot of ammo real quick. And in some instances, it might be good to have that much ammo, but I think the 15 is a bit better for that, and 10. But it's that big old clip sure makes that gun look cool. And I think I'm going to stick it in the gun and show it on the video real quick. Just that right there makes that gun intimidating as hell. And it's all black. It looks badass. But it's a fun gun to shoot, and you won't go broke doing it. So, and that's what I'll probably be doing. Also, go ahead.
And which gun is this?
That's the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 I bought not too long ago.
Okay, yeah.
All right. It also, what I've done, adds some weight to this gun. Makes it a little heavy, but I don't know if I really care if it's that much heavier with the extra stuff on it. I don't even know if you really need all that extra stuff. But if you got to bug out and you're on foot, you need to pay attention to weight. So you might just want to leave this gun stock and get extra clips for it, and because it's not a long-range gun anyway. You're not going to be shooting 100, 200 yards out there. A 9mm doesn't have that much knockdown power, but for a little bit further distance than a pistol's good for. This one probably 75 yards. It's still very accurate, and it's probably a good gun for up to maybe 75 yards, maybe 100. I haven't tested it at that kind of distance.
Wait, what caliber is that?
9mm.
I don't know. I was watching video where a 22 long rifle was going through half-inch plywood at 300 yards.
Yep, but they're probably, the speed of a 22 long rifle is probably a lot higher than this one.
That's 1,650. Yeah, 1,650 feet.
And this one probably shoots at the, I'm guessing, but I think I'm not too far off. My 9mm pistol is not going to have the knockdown power of this rifle. It's going to be a much faster bullet coming out, probably about the same knockdown power and velocity as a 357 mag, something like that. And from a pistol. Now, you put that 357 in a rifle, it's going to be even higher. But anyway, I think it's a good all-around gun because you can hunt with it, you can defend yourself with it, it's fairly light. Even with the modifications I've made, it's not all that heavy, but I'm still thinking it's starting to get into that heavy range. But it's also inexpensive in the stock form. And in the stock form, you can really take care of yourself pretty well with it. And
what did that run in the stock form?
I think it was a 400.
Oh, yeah.
So it's got a very good reputation, too, of being reliable. And plus, like I keep saying, it's a fun gun to shoot, and I love to shoot. and it's badass looking. You might intimidate somebody with it just enough to get yourself out of a bad situation.
Yeah, that's about what I paid for that SIG that I bought, 22 long rifle.
And I still haven't been able to do anything with the shotgun I was telling y'all about that a friend of mine bought, but we will be getting together, and I think y'all will like it. It is back from the Gunsmith with the mods on it. So, and they're not major mods, so don't get worked up about it. It's just got a good tune-up and maybe one or two other little items. So hopefully when we get together, we'll be able to do that. All right, we're over an hour, so I think we covered enough tonight. Let's hang around and we'll go over the show notes real quick. And I'm going to stop the video and go over here and end the show.